Loneliness isn't just a feeling, it's a physical event happening inside your body right now. And if it goes on long enough, it can kill you as surely as a disease. Scientists have found that chronic loneliness is as dangerous to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. But here's the strange part. Your body isn't malfunctioning. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do. And once you understand why, loneliness starts to make a terrifying kind of sense. We think of loneliness as a mood, something soft and sad, a little embarrassing to admit. But loneliness is not a mood. It's an alarm, one of the oldest and most powerful signals the human body has. And right now, that alarm is going off for more people than at almost any point in recorded history. In 2023, the US Surgeon General took the extraordinary step of declaring loneliness a public health epidemic, warning that its toll on the body was comparable to smoking, not as a metaphor, as a measurable, physical threat. So let's talk about what loneliness is actually doing to you. In 2010, a researcher named Julianne Holt-Lunstad gathered data from hundreds of thousands of people and asked a simple question. Does being socially connected actually affect how long you live? The answer was staggering. People with weak social connections had a dramatically higher risk of dying early, a risk on par with smoking 15 cigarettes a day, and greater than the risk from obesity or lack of exercise. Being chronically lonely is worse for your body than being severely overweight. Overall, weak social connection raised the odds of an early death by roughly 30%. Yet we treat one as a medical emergency, and the other as a personal failing you should just get over. And that quiet double standard is costing people their lives. But why would evolution build a feeling powerful enough to shorten your life? To answer that, a neuroscientist named John Cacioppo at the University of Chicago spent his career studying loneliness, and what he found reframes everything. Loneliness, he argued, is not a defect, it's a survival mechanism. Think about hunger. Hunger is unpleasant on purpose because it drives you to eat before you starve. Thirst drives you to drink. Pain makes you pull your hand from the fire. Loneliness works exactly the same way. It's the body's signal that you've become dangerously disconnected from other people. For our ancestors, being alone out in the wild wasn't sad. It was a death sentence. No group meant no protection, no shared food. No one to watch over you while you slept. So evolution made isolation hurt to drive us back to the safety of the tribe. Loneliness is hunger. It's just hunger for other people. And like any alarm, when it won't switch off, it begins to damage the very body it's trying to protect. When you're chronically lonely, your brain shifts into a state of high alert. On some ancient level, it believes you are unprotected, exposed, in danger. So it floods your system with stress hormones like cortisol. It ramps up inflammation. It raises your blood pressure and strains your heart. And it does something especially cruel to your sleep. Cacioppo found that lonely people don't sleep as deeply. They wake more often through the night, in tiny micro-awakenings they don't even remember. Because a brain that thinks it's alone in the dark, with no one to keep watch, refuses to fully lower its guard. You can be exhausted and still unable to truly rest, simply because some ancient part of you doesn't feel safe enough to. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. The part that makes loneliness so hard to escape. It sabotages you. That same state of high alert doesn't only watch for physical danger, it watches for social danger. A lonely brain becomes hypervigilant to rejection, scanning every interaction for proof that you're not wanted. A neutral face looks cold. A slow reply feels like evidence that no one cares. Cacioppo showed that lonely people begin to perceive threat where there is none, and so they pull back, guard themselves, brace for the worst, which makes them seem distant or closed off, which pushes other people away, which deepens the loneliness. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, a trap that whispers you're unwanted and then quietly makes it come true. Loneliness lies to you, and the lonelier you get, the more convincing the lie becomes. And this is why loneliness has almost nothing to do with how many people are around you. You can be surrounded by co-workers and still feel invisible. You can be in a marriage, at a crowded party, in a group chat that never goes quiet, and still feel completely alone. Because loneliness was never about the number of people in the room. It's the gap between the connection you have and the connection you need. Which is why the cure was never simply to be around more people. It's to be truly seen by even one. Which, as bleak as all of this sounds, is actually the way out. Because if loneliness is a signal, like hunger, then it isn't a verdict on your worth. It's just information. It's your body telling you it needs something, the same way an empty stomach does. You are not broken or unlovable or too much. You are running a program that kept your ancestors alive. And the same science that maps how loneliness harms us also shows how quickly it can begin to reverse. Small, genuine moments of connection calm the alarm and start to undo the damage. A real conversation, being honest with one person about how you actually are. Reaching out first, even when every instinct is screaming at you to withdraw. And that is the hardest, most important part, because loneliness will always tell you to hide. It will tell you that you're a burden, that everyone's too busy, that reaching out is pathetic, that you'll only be rejected anyway. But that voice isn't the truth. It's just the alarm, misfiring in a world it was never built for. A world where the tribe is scattered across cities and screens. So if you feel it right now, that quiet ache, try to understand what it actually is. Not a flaw in you. A signal, as old as our species, asking you to do the one thing that can finally turn it off. Reach out. Send the message. Say the honest thing. And remember that the person you're afraid to bother is very likely carrying the exact same ache, waiting, just like you, for someone to reach back first. Thanks for watching the Unspoken channel. If you enjoyed this content, feel free to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Until next time.